2020 may be remembered as the year of coronavirus, but let's not forget that this is also a presidential election year. So this seems as good a time as any to go through the list and discuss the schools that have produced the most presidents in the United States. Before we get started, it is very important to clarify a few particularities in this list. First, although 2020 will see whether Joe Biden becomes the 46th US president or President Trump remains the 45th, the US has only technically had 44 different presidents. Why? Well, this is simply due to the fact that Grover Cleveland's 2 non-consecutive terms as president are counted separately. Next, it is important to mention that a total of 8 presidents have reached the office without having earned a university degree. The list of non-university graduates who became commanders-in-chiefs is made up of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Andrew Johnson, and previously mentioned Grover Cleveland. For this list, our tie-breaking criteria will be determined by the accomplishments achieved during their time at school, degree of education, and other notable alumni. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 10, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. As one of the top public institutions in the nation, it is no surprise to see the University of Michigan in this list. From 1931 to 1934, soon-to-be President Gerald Ford was a Wolverine. Here he earned degrees in political science and economics. But the reason why we decided to add him to this list is due to his involvement in the Wolverine Championship football teams of 1932 and 1933. That's right, believe it or not, the United States' 34th president was also a University of Michigan's most valuable player. Number 9, Georgetown. Georgetown is a private institution in Washington, D.C., and it is also the alma mater of former President Bill Clinton, who received his Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service in 1968. And as a matter of fact, President Clinton was also the president of his freshman and sophomore year class during his time at Georgetown. And yes, although there are over a dozen other schools that produce only one president, Georgetown University earned the number 9 spot in this list because of the fact that President Lyndon B. Johnson attended the institution in 1934 as a graduate law student. Unfortunately for them, President Johnson went on to drop out to pursue his career in politics, joining the National Youth Administration in Texas. Number 8, University of Pennsylvania. The University of Pennsylvania is mostly known for its Wharton School of Business. And when it comes to business, the first president to come to mind is Donald Trump. Similar to Georgetown, the reason why we included them in this list is because they also had William Henry Harrison, pursuing a medical degree from them in 1791, but had to drop out after his father's death. Number 7, Stanford University. It is no secret that Herbert Hoover was not necessarily the best student during his time at Stanford. He failed almost all of his entrance tests except math and decided to switch from an engineering major to a biology major during his time at Palo Alto. A fun fact that is not nearly as known, however, is that President Hoover is considered by many the first Stanford student. You see, he was the first student from the first class to ever set foot on campus. On top of that, he managed both the football team and baseball teams during his time there. Stanford Halls were also witness to President John F. Kennedy, who enrolled at the business school in September of 1940 and had plans to finish his degree until being drafted for the war of December of that same year. Number 6, Columbia University. Columbia University is distinctly known for being the alma mater of the United States' 44th President Barack Obama, who graduated in 1983 with a degree in political science and English literature. A fun fact that not many people know, however, is that there are other 2 presidents who received Columbia degrees after President Obama. In 2008, both President FDR and Theodore Roosevelt received honorary posthumous law degrees without having ever attended. So, technically, 3 American presidents have graduated from Columbia. Number 5, the United States Military Academy at West Point. Up until this point, we have only discussed universities that have produced only one president from their undergraduate programs. But the U.S. Military Academy at West Point shatters this norm as it is the home to two of the major American political figures. First, there was Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th President of the United States, and the Commander General of the Union Army during the Civil War. And although many know Ulysses S. Grant as the winner of the Civil War who became president, fewer people know of Ulysses S. Grant, the West Point Academy graduate. The second person to become a graduate from the West Point Academy is President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who began his education in the year 1911. The most impressive part of his tenure there was undoubtedly his athletics, as he was part of the varsity football team playing as a running back and a linebacker. His college athletics also included basketball, baseball, boxing, fencing, and even cheerleading, making him perhaps the most athletically gifted president in the history of the United States. Number 4. Princeton University. Also with two presidents, Princeton University earned this spot in our list by granting college degrees to both James Madison and Woodrow Wilson. First, in 1769, James Madison enrolled in Princeton, which at the time was called the College of New Jersey. Almost 100 years later, President Wilson transferred into the same institution for what would be a very active undergraduate career. Not only was he double majoring in philosophy and history, he also had executive positions in the school's football and baseball associations, as well as the title of managing editor of the student newspaper. And if all of that was not enough, in 1902 he got promoted from professor to president of the whole university. Talk about foreshadowing! It is also worth noting that the halls of Princeton have also seen political figures of the likes of Michelle Obama and JFK. Number 3. College of William and Mary. Now that we're getting into the top 3, the numbers will start to go up, as is the case for the College of William and Mary, an institution that awarded college degrees to 3 American presidents. First, there was founding father and inventor Thomas Jefferson, who, before becoming the 3rd president of the United States, attended the college at age 16. There, he studied mathematics, metaphysics, and philosophy. He also befriended men of the likes of John Locke, Francis Bacon, and Isaac Newton. With the help of such remarkable minds, Jefferson managed to graduate in 1762 after only 2 years. Not long thereafter, in 1774, President James Monroe followed Jefferson's footsteps and became the 5th president of the United States. 3 decades would have to pass for the next president to earn a degree from this institution, and that would be John Tyler, who started his studies at the preparatory branch of the college at the age of 12, and who graduated 5 years later in 1807. Number 2. Yale University. It is no shock that such a prestigious institution is the 2nd spot on our list. But exactly how many presidents has it awarded degrees to? Well, if you count both undergraduate and graduate degrees, Yale has produced a total of 5 presidents. The gang of undergraduate degree recipients is made up of William Howard Taft, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush. President Taft enrolled in Yale in 1874 and graduated 2nd of his class. After his presidency, he returned to Yale as a professor in 1913, making him a true handsome dam. President Bush's father attended Yale after returning from World War II and joined the Delta Kappa Epsilon. Additionally, he captained the Yale baseball team and played in the first 2 College World Series. This outstanding collegiate career ended in 1948 when he graduated with a major in economics and a minor in sociology. In 1964, George Bush's son followed his father's footsteps and attended Yale University. He also joined Delta Kappa Epsilon and became president of the fraternity during his senior year. President Bush received his degree in 1968. A very interesting coincidence is that all these 3 men were members of Yale's secret society Skull and Bones. Now, moving on to the graduate degrees. Yale has awarded these to President Ford and President Clinton. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, President Ford completed his undergraduate studies at the University of Michigan in 1934. After this, he turned down offers to play football for the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, and instead took a job coaching at Yale University. His plan was to attend law school in New Haven, and after being originally rejected in 1937, he was admitted to Yale Law School in the spring of 1938. After attending Georgetown and Oxford, President Clinton went to Yale Law School to earn his Juris Doctor. It was here where he met 2016 presidential candidate and future wife, Hillary Rodham. And after meeting at the Yale Law Library, the two of them started the relationship we all know today. Number 1. Harvard College. That's right, the university that has produced the most US presidents is Harvard University. Given how long this university has been around, this should come at no surprise. After all, the university has existed longer than the presidential office itself. So let's go down this list of 8 presidential alumni from this institution. First, let's talk about the undergraduate students. The first one of them being John Adams. President Adams is the second president of the United States and a graduate from the class of 1755. As a matter of fact, it was his graduation speech that year that landed him his first job as a professor. Next, similar to the Bush father and son duo, we have John Quincy Adams and the son of the previously mentioned president. President Quincy Adams spent part of his youth as a diplomat in France and the Netherlands. But in 1785, he returned to the States to earn a degree from Harvard College. During his time at Cambridge, he was elected Phi Beta Kappa and graduated second in his class in 1787. Close to a century would have to go by until the next soon-to-be president enrolled at Harvard, this one being Theodore Roosevelt. In 1878, President Roosevelt began a very well-rounded college career as he participated in rowing and boxing, was a member of the Alpha Delta Phi Literary Society, the Delta Kappa Epsilon fraternity, and the prestigious Porcelain Club. Coincidentally enough, the next president to attend Harvard was the other Roosevelt, President FDR, who was a member of the Alpha Delta Phi fraternity and also a member of the Fly Club. He became editor-in-chief of the Harvard Crimson newspaper and graduated in 1903. The 5th president to have received his undergraduate degree from Harvard College was John F. Kennedy. JFK had always wanted to be a Harvard man, and the dream came true in 1936. There, he tried out for the football, golf, and swimming teams, and ended up earning a spot in the varsity swim team. The next 3 presidents to receive a degree from Harvard did so as graduate students. These 3 men are Rutherford Hayes, George Bush, and Barack Obama. Both President Obama and President Hayes attended Harvard Law School, while President Bush attended Harvard Business School and became, to this date, the only US president to have earned an MBA. So there you have it. These are the top 10 schools that have produced the most US presidents. Hey, if you want to stay up to date regarding everything related to college and education, do yourself a favor and us and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and you can see some of these videos. As always, don't forget to ask us any questions.